How you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Thursday, the 12th of March. Well, disappointing day Wednesday. Bit of garbage, really, to be honest. Even one of the races where, I don't know if you remember back to my previous video, where I couldn't make my mind up between Saint Seagal and Liberty Hunter. So I was very slightly late tuning into the race, and Saint Seagal was out of the race before I even managed to, flick the side on. So, and then just to rub salt in the wounds, Liberty Hunter, I think it was it 8-1, but I'm sure it was hundreds at some point, ran on for either second or third in the end. So, yes, a rather frustrating day. We had one place and all the rest. We had a couple that ran well. Bossman Jack ran an absolute crack. If you go back and watch the race, I think, 18s or 20s? They didn't ride it how I thought they were going to, but it was held up, came with a late run. Once again, that final flight, all my selections seemed to keep whacking the last flight. It was just moved into third, just as it was jumping the final fence. It blundered at the last, and I think it came sixth in the end. And I think there was only paying out on the first four. So, yeah, frustrating because it would have been a nice start. But obviously, the rest, I was let down by the rest of the day anyway. But let's get into Thursday selections. I tell you what, there's some right interesting selections. So let's get on to the 120 at Cheltenham. So what I've had is, I've basically spent £30. I've had, I believe it to be something like a 7p each way. Well, I shall show you the bet in a minute. But a 7p each way Super Heinz. Each way singles on the rest. I put the Super Heinz on, the each way Super Heinz, and I put it to SP. And all the each way singles, I took the price. So let me get into it. So the first race is the 120 on day 3 at Cheltenham. So Bambino Forever. Bambino Fever has got an obvious favourite chance. I do obviously clearly I think it's got a chance, but the one I'm interested in, I've been looking at the form because I was quite interested in the fact that Carrickmorna Spruce, this is a mares race. It ran against the opposite sex last time and ran its best race so far. It's got James Bowen on board. I think he's had a couple of winners already. The interesting thing is, and you might need to leave this in the comments for me because I'm unsure if I'm being honest, I see it's trained by Declan Quealy. Is this a Declan Quealy that they're making these big headlines out because somebody swore at the other person? You know what I mean? Did you not see the start? I don't know what's going off with that, but they've got a headline out on it anyway. But the interesting thing is, there's a Declan Quealy trainer and a Mr. I think is it Mr. LD or DL Quealy jockey as well. So be interested. I don't know if you're allowed to own train and ride your own horses off the top of my head. I can't remember, to be fair, but I think they're very interesting tomorrow because I fancy two horses, and I do believe Nico de Bourneville's on one of the other ones. Be very interesting, wouldn't it, for them both to ride a winner and then to get interviewed, just to put salt in the wounds with all this this bickering that's been going off. Anyway, so Carrickmorna Spruce, I think it's the second top rated in the race, I believe, on the Racing Post ratings, and I was very impressed with the fact that came up against the opposite sex. It's now against females only, so I do think it will run a decent race. It has been improving, and it's got a decent chance. It's rough. I think I got 10-1. It's currently 11s in places. The second race at Cheltenham, the 2 o'clock, is a 2 mile, 4.5 mile handicap chase. So I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to show you something, and I think it's very interesting. So it's 2 mile, 4.5 furlong. The selection is called King Alexander. And let me just show you this because this is what I found. You may not be interested in it, but I was certainly interested in it. So the ground is currently described, I do believe, on the hurdles track it's good. Right, it's currently good on the chase track as well. But there is some rain on Thursday. However, it's due to come about dinner time or just as the racing starts. So if it does get in the ground, it's going to take quite a while. But I just want to show you something. So King Alexander, it's the same owner. I don't know what. I don't know if he spelled his name wrong, then he's changed it, and I don't know. I never quite understand that because I'm looking for his name's John Ioannis Nucleus or something like that. I don't Neocleus, but he was a previous trainer. He was a previous owner as well. So who knows what's going off there? But that's irrelevant. So this horse was previously trained by Nicky Henderson. If you look at its races, don't worry about where it came and whatever. Look at the kind of going it used to run on all the time. Yeah, clearly Nicky Henderson thought it was a good ground horse. Worst case scenario, good to soft. Yeah, and then it was taken from Nicky Henderson, and it went to Willie Mullins. Well, as a horse, it has improved. It was off 130 for Nicky Henderson over hurdles, and now it's got a official rating of 144 over chase fences. So it's improved for going chase fencing. However, just take a look at this. I don't know how well you can see the mouse, but it ran over 3 mile. Maybe it didn't stay 3 mile. Yeah, it won. Don't get me wrong. You can still win a race and not really stay the distance. You're staying it better than everything else. So then they dropped it back for the Cheltenham Festival last year. I won't say it ran a good race. It probably ran slightly above itself because it was 66-1 and it came 15th of 26, beating 20 lengths, yeah? So it's actually ran at Cheltenham. You probably class that as running okay, nothing more than that. It's been around the course, yeah, okay. So then it went to Sandown, over 2.5 mile, ran okay, but then it goes chasing after that, that's a type of obstacle in front of them tomorrow. So it goes I can't speak. It goes over the chase fences and it shows a gradual improvement. But let me just show you this. So look at the ground. Absolutely bottomless. Well, Nicky Henderson and even Willie Mullins pretty much have never really ran it over heavy ground up until it went chasing. What I'm thinking they've been running over this horse on 2.5 mile, knowing that he absolutely hates it. You might think, Jolly, this it's still running well. Yeah, but what if it hates the bad ground, and actually it'll be a much better performer on good ground? Well, then you've got a really well handicapped horse, because you might see a completely different horse on Thursday at Cheltenham. Well, I'm just trying to look for an angle, and I think the angle of 33-1 Willie Mullins horse with who's on board. I think it's Danny Mullins. Yep, don't think he's had a winner yet, so that could be quite interesting. So yeah, so this horse. So if you look at took keen hold, prominent, pulled way into lead after. So it was extremely keen. Yeah, ran away with it, but it was only headed in the final strides. And this is those kind of running race commentary. It's a kind of commentary where you would expect it to be tailed off. Took keen hold on heavy ground, pulled way into lead after third. You would normally expect it to weaken pretty quickly, especially on its debut run. Seasonal reappearance. Then in January, it did the same. So took keen hold, prominent, 1 length second last. Yeah, and then it just lost 2 places towards the end. So then the most interesting one for me is it actually wins this one, but took keen hold, led but pestered. You know when you normally see horses that are pestered for the lead, they're normally in the last 3 because they've done too much. Well, this one kept on. I know it was 4-9, so it was expected to win, but I just think this horse has had, in my opinion, conditions against it, tactics against it. It's been prominent throughout, so I'm thinking at Cheltenham tomorrow in this race, if this horse can race prominent, because I think it will favour the horses that race prominently again. Although there were mixed signals towards the end of Wednesday, but I think with a little bit of juice in the ground, and I'm not talking much, but I think the ones at the front could get away from the ones that are behind, because as the moisture gradually gets into the ground, I just think it could catch some of those out that think they're going well in behind but struggle to pick up. So I think this horse that has run on heavy ground only on its 3 chase appearances now tackles something like good, maybe good to soft. I can't believe it'll be soft come this race, but I just think it's got a really good chance. So that is King Alexander. So let's get on to. So there's you can see I've placed the bet there. I think it's easier to talk you through the racing postcard. So the 240 at Cheltenham. This is the the Mare's Hurdle. So I never know how to pronounce this. Wado? Yeah. So this horse is expected to win. Gordon Elliott, not having the best of festivals. Has he had a second in Champion Hurdle so far? Was it second? Yeah, I think it was second. But I like the look of Take No Chances, because look at this run. And don't go wrong, I know Wado, I'll call it Wado, has improved no end since they met. But look at this. Just give me a second. This run here, 14th of December, 2024. Right. Wado beat Take No Chances. However, Take No Chances was giving it £10 that day and only beaten 2 lengths. Don't get me wrong. Take No Chances has only improved £8, whereas Wado has improved, I believe it's something like £25. Yeah, £24. So don't get me wrong. Wado has improved and deserves to be favourite. I'm just thinking the Skeltons. I think the Skeltons are very tactically astute, as in, I'm not quite sure how they'll ride it, but they'll ride it to want to win the prize. I don't think they're bothered about second. I honestly think they've got a chance of actually winning this race. I would have thought that Wado would have been a slight bit short, if I'm being honest, but it's a tricky race. But I just think that it's a shame there's not 8 runners, so we can get first 3. But obviously, we'd probably be talking about a smaller price if they were paying out on first 3. I've looked at the bookies and I can't see anybody that's paying 3 places instead of 2. So I think Take No Chances has got a decent chance. So the 3:20 at Cheltenham, it's the Paddy Power Stayers Hurdle. So I'm doing a lot of scrolling, aren't I? So yes, so this is the Nico de Boinville horse I've gone for. So Impose Toi. I've gone for this horse because I still don't think the moisture will have really got into the ground. Yeah, it's a 3:20. It will have been raining. It dries really quickly anyway, but I just think you're only talking good to soft at the worst, because it's been given dry overnight. I don't believe that they're watering again, because the clock of the course did actually say that they only watered, I think it was Monday night, ready for Tuesday, but after that the weather should basically look after the rest of the week. But Impose Toi, I just think it's run into form at the right time. This horse, let me just double check. I know they talk about John Bomb never being out the first 2, I think they said. But this horse over hurdles has only ever been out the first 3 once, which is quite interesting. And when was that? That was at Aintree. I wasn't going to show you anything special there. I was actually searching for myself, to be fair, but I think this horse will. I think it absolutely hated the soft ground when it finished behind Moshanto. Henderson's stable was still pretty quiet then. It did win previously on good to soft. Yeah, it won on soft, but I actually think this horse wants good ground, or good to soft at worst, to see its best. And I'm sure I've heard Nicky Henderson say that recently. So yeah, Impose Toi is the next selection. They are all pretty big prices for Thursday, my selections are. So the 4 o'clock... I'm sure we're going to come good one of these days. So in the 4 o'clock at Cheltenham, you've got Factor File, which is the favourite, and I've gone for JPR1. I just think it's run into form at the right time. The Tizzards had a runner in the Champion Hurdle, Alexia, which ran an absolute cracker. They had a runner today, but it didn't run that well. But I've always liked the Tizzards at Cheltenham, more so Colin Tizzard than Joe, but obviously Joe's just starting out. JPR1 won really easy last time, and if you look at the official ratings, yeah, 161, 16, there's not a great deal in quite a few of them ready for that 3rd place. There is 9 runners, so we want maximum 1 horse to come out if something's going to come out. Yeah, I just think it's a very wide open race. So yeah, not too much about that one really. So in the 440, it is the Pertemps Network Handicap Hurdle. It's 3 mile, and my selection... So originally, I did look at Bold Endeavour to start off with, but being a 10-year-old, it just put me off. But it is ridiculously well handicapped. I'll just click on it. This isn't the horse I've gone for, but I wouldn't put anybody off back in Bold Endeavour. The only reason why I went off it is because it's a 10-year-old. But if you look at this, it left Nicky Henderson in 2024. No idea why. It went to Luca Morgan. It left Nick Henderson on a marker 143. Yeah. It returned to Nicky Henderson. What was it? Let's say over 18 months later. A marker 130. So it's basically been reduced to stone for not running very well 3 times under a different trainer. No idea quite why they've reduced it by that much, to be fair. But so they've got an extremely well handicapped horse. Henderson's probably, well, not the Hendersons. Nicky Henderson obviously knows the horse inside out. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. Hopefully for the people that have backed it, it gets a good tune out of it. But my selection is, and this is so I think the jockey's had 1 or 2 winners already. I think he had 1 winner, and I think he had that short-haired Jazzy Matty, Connor Stone Walsh. And the horse is called Yeah Man, but I think this is going to drift because... So, this horse has been chasing. The vast majority of its career has been chasing. Ran well over 2 mile on heavy ground. This is 3 mile, but it ran a decent race. Yes, it was beaten 23 lengths, but its official rating was 123, and it ran to a mark of 126, which shows you that it ran above itself. And then in December at Leopardstown, over 2 mile 7.5 furlong on much better ground, it was second of 18 over hurdles once again. Well, for the best part of its career, if you look further down, it's been running over all kinds of trips, but over chasers. Not quite sure why they went on a hurdle campaign. Maybe it is just for the fact that it's It's £10 lower over hurdles, but it's currently in pretty decent form over hurdles. It should never have been. Well, it wasn't competitive, but compared to its rating and how it ran above itself in that 2 mile race. Once again, let me just double check this because I'm looking at this bit for the first time. I wouldn't say it needs heavy ground, but it certainly handles heavy ground. But maybe by this time, 440, the rain could be getting into the ground. It doesn't look as though it's going to be bouncing off the floor, the rain, but it does look as though it could be that fine drizzle and maybe get a little bit heavier as the day goes on, probably from 3:30 onwards. Will it turn to heavy? I wouldn't have thought so. It's Cheltenham. It'd take a lot longer than that, but I definitely think it'll be good to soft by the end of the day. But who knows? You don't quite know how much rain's going to fall. But yeah, I just think, yeah, man, from Gavin Cromwell as well, very good at getting one ready. Wink, wink. Yeah, and didn't he have a winner today? I'm still here. I'm just thinking. Yeah, Gavin Cromwell, that's it. He had 3 out of the 4 in the cross-country race. That was it. And finally, you can see my selection already. So the 520 is Mongbeg Genius. So I backed this, or tipped it up last time. It ran a decent race. It came 7th, but it's 40-1. It's John Joe O'Neill. John Joe O'Neill always used to get one ready for these handicaps. Obviously, he used to be a much better trainer, but it's still the same trainer, but maybe it's not got the ammunition anymore. I just don't know what's happened to him, to be fair. I always remember back in Holywell, and I always remember Holywell being a bit like the Skeltons, where Holywell had done nothing all year, but then opened up favourite for one of the handicaps. It might have even been this race over the years. I haven't checked the history, but yeah. So this horse stays all day. I thought this horse would tenderly handle last time because, like I said, I tipped it up and I thought we've got a chance here, and it just didn't really pick up. But when if you're training for a race yourself, if you've got a big race in March, come 14th of February, a month before your big race, which hopefully is big races tomorrow, you're normally at the height of your training. Like things are, and then what you do, you start tapering off before you get to race day. So I'm thinking this horse just stayed on, but what it did, I think this was a cracking run in the Welsh National. Yeah, in the Welsh National. I think this is a cracking run. Only beaten 11 lengths by Haiti Collonge, which has like got a serious chance in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. So I think this horse. So if you look, it's off a 141 tomorrow, £3 lower than its run. Do you really think this race is more competitive than the Welsh Grand National? I honestly don't think it is. Yeah, it's dropped £3 for that, and then it even ran okay last time. Dropped another pound. So before that, it had not been doing a great deal. So what's it been doing there? Yeah, so not a great deal more to say. So yeah, so it's 7 selections. It's something like a 7p each way Super Hines, each way singles on all of them. I like the look of all of them, to be honest, but then again, I did yesterday, or should I say, I did today, as in Wednesday. But I've shown you why I fancy them. To be fair, you could probably make those reasons for most of the horses. There are angles, but I do think it's interesting, the Nico de Boinville and Declan Queally angle, where you could quite see that pantomime carrying on tomorrow on television, where Declan Queally might be interviewed after the first race, and Nico de Boinville hopefully interviewed after the Stayers Hurdle, and you might hear some more moaning or some more controversy on telly, because sometimes they'll do anything to get these headlines, even if it's bad headlines. As long as they're in the papers, they don't really mind. So, yeah. So, those are the selections for Thursday. So, I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.